if you're a fan of Cardano and ADA holder, and if you've been watching my videos for years now, you might realize, just like myself, that right now, what's happening with Cardano, we're at this launchpad. And I say that a lot, launchpad. I say we're just at the beginning. We're just getting started right now. It sounds like hype, but when I say that in these moments, I truly mean it. I truly think it. This is why I've been tracking the crypto ecosystem, the journey, for so long on this YouTube channel. Obviously, I integrate ADA price because I'm a value investor. I'm very interested into the value of ADA and what happens next in terms of ADA charts. But right now, the fundamentals of it all, this is a launchpad, in my view, especially as we lead into the Bitcoin halving, especially as the crypto space starts getting adopted. Bitcoin ETFs just got approved. Institutionals, investor eyes are all over crypto, not just Bitcoin. So speculative bull market getting ready to play out once again. And this time we have the launchpad of a brand new ecosystem that is set in this video. I want to discuss the story, how we got here, and I want to demonstrate in this video exactly what this even looks like. What does this launchpad look like? What is going to lend itself to the explosive growth of Cardano total value locked, the Cardano ecosystem? I'm going to give you a very real world demonstration. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. Shout out to Fluid Tokens for sponsoring this video. Everyone, Fluid Tokens is a project that if you're in Cardano, you have to pay attention to it. I'm going to give a breakdown on exactly what it is in this video and how it plays into this growth story of Cardano. So I want to start, and I'm not even going to play a clip, but this was me in March 2021 doing a YouTube video. March 2021, just talking about, man, smart contracts are getting ready to be here, right? Scalability, getting ready to be here. That was in March 2021. So for context, that's all the way back here. We were in the middle of the bull market. Crypto was just seeing so many gains. It was a wonderful speculative bull market for ADA because none of this was even here yet, right? DeFi woke up around January 2022 in the middle of the bear market. Right before the bear market, we had the Alonzo hard fork where, smart contracts finally came into play. So projects could really start integrating the power of Cardano ecosystem into the products that they're trying to build. That was here. That was the top of the bull market. And so through the bear market, all these projects, DeFi, started waking up, started building. And that's what they've been doing, hustling, building. And that is what has led us here to our first cycle now, where we have an entire ecosystem of projects on Cardano. And we do this a lot. We go to Cardano, we go to Total Value Locked page on DeFi Llama, and we just see a lot of these projects. Right now, Cardano at $470 million Total Value Locked. One thing we've been tracking, go to something like Ethereum through the bear market, falling, right? Just Total Value Locked has been falling. ETH, Solana, very similar story. Cardano just growing. And it says 470 million. You have something like Solana showing 2 billion. But I want to note something. Cardano and its staking mechanism, for instance, 22 billion ADA is staked, around $12 billion, but it's liquid staking. It's not locked in, right? So that's $12 billion that is liquid staking because the power of Cardano staking mechanism. So if we go back to this and, if we go to something like all chains, look at Ethereum, 37 billion, Tron, 8 billion. Cardano, with that staking included, the power of liquid staking is right in the middle there, 12 billion. I just want to say that. Now, here's the thing. The ecosystem is exploding, right? And now we do have projects that are powerful and that are changing DeFi and doing so in a decentralized and secure manner. And that is how far we've made it. And right now, I want to demonstrate kind of this real world example of a powerful project that when I saw it most recently, it blew my mind. So real quick, this is a post they made 6 days ago, right? Or actually, I'm sorry. This was yesterday. A huge day for Fluid Tokens. Boosted stake is now included in Fluid Tokens TVL. Now, right here is a powerful post that they made 6 days ago. A liquidity provider just deposited 99,000 ADA, $51,000 on boosted stake. I'm going to explain boosted stake at a 6.5% APR. Notice Cardano Protocol right now averaging 2.5%, 3.5% A lot of people are still happy with that, but there are people that might say, hey, you know what? I want to leverage my ADA a little bit more. I want to lend it out in a secure manner. So here's somebody that just a liquidity provider said, I want to take 99,000 of my ADA and I'm going to put it on boosted stake at 6.5. What is boosted stake? Well, as a borrower, you can pick your preferred amount in time. So you go to their platform. And by the way, at the end of this video, the last part of this video, I sat down with the team over at Fluid Tokens. Please take the time to watch and listen to what they are building and how this works, because it is so powerful. But let's just take that 99,000 ADA example, right? Somebody lent 99,000 ADA. You can be a borrower. Maybe you have like 1,200 ADA and you're like, man, I have an ISPO I want to take part on. I want that 99,000 ADA. You can press continue. Let's just say we want it for 5 epochs. Press continue. It'll give you the loan APR, 15. You're going to pay 15.5%. You're going to pay 959 ADA for that amount of ADA. And you will have access to, all of a sudden, almost 100,000 ADA when you didn't have that initially to leverage. Obviously, you can cancel that and you can mess around with it. You can be like, I need 8,000 ADA, right? You can mess around with those numbers. You can also provide liquidity. You can be the person that's just like, I want to lend the 99,000 ADA and I want a 6% for 6 epochs, meaning you're locking it in for 6 epochs and somebody can utilize your ADA and you're charging a 6% fee in doing that, right? But notice that 6% fee, it's higher than a 2.5%, 3% ADA reward for a regular Cardano staking epoch. Now, I want to note something, and then I'm gonna leave it to you to watch the interview with these two. We kind of go through this platform a little bit and talk a little bit more in depth about it. Really cool that they have this activity, this new feature on the site, activity. You can just see this wallet borrowed 30,000 ADA of stake at 13%. Maybe they're wanting to take a part in a ISPO. The lender's earning 53 ADA per epoch, right? That's a lot more than the lender would be earning in the regular staking. 13%, when currently it is around 2.5%, 3.5%. So I want to show you this though. A very important thing I have to note, I have to highlight, because this is the biggest thing for me. And I told these guys in this interview, like, I have trouble connecting my wallet to any dApp. It's just very iffy to me, and it still is. Even as I record this video, I'm extremely cautious. And if I am taking part in something like this, I'm going to be cautious in terms of the amount of ADA I use, because you just never know in crypto. So I want to highlight this question because it's a good question. What is the risk side? This sounds awesome, but just wanted to know if there's risk to this, right? The risks are, Fluid Tokens replied, they said you can't withdraw ADA while being used by borrowers. So if you lent the ADA and a borrower is using it, it's locked, right? So just know that. All smart contracts have higher risk than regular staking. And that is just the bottom line. So there is some risk here. That's why the contract has been audited, tested in testnet, and is working great in mainnet. Now, if I'm interacting with anything like this in the first place, I especially like it to be on Cardano because Cardano is built differently. It took a longer period of time for Cardano and the ecosystem to get here. It took a longer period of time for the ecosystem to have the launchpad over here as opposed to, back here, because it was built properly. Tons of research. And the way that the infrastructure has been built is a more secure and reliable way. But I just really wanted to note this because it's incredibly important when interacting with any dApps. Please be careful out there, everybody. But this Fluid Tokens project and this concept of boosted staking is too cool in my view, and Fluid Tokens absolutely making moves. So before we even hop over to the interview, just check this out, their roadmap. They have the Fluid Token, which is launching. The Fluid Token is launching on January 18th, right? So this is coming up right now. But just look at some of these things that they have going on. Fluid Token staking, this is Q2. We have cross-chain expansion in Q3, Ethereum and layer 2s, Midnight. You all know Midnight, IOG working on Midnight, first privacy-focused DeFi protocol, Midnight-based enterprise solution Q4, cross-chain bridges for securities. They have a ton on their roadmap, and this was posted yesterday. Total value locked 2.3 million And this is going to be the thing that is fun to track, because guess what? When we go to Cardano ecosystem and we scroll down here, it's going to be fun to watch Fluid tokens grow. You click lending, and for other protocols, look at some of the top. $8 billion total value lock, $6 billion total value lock for these lending protocols, $2 billion, $2 billion. And right now, Fluid token sitting just above 2 million. Growth is here. Check out this interview I did with Matteo and Raul. Enjoy it. And thank you guys for sponsoring this video, sponsoring this channel. I hope for you the best as you continue to grow and try and innovate in the Cardano ecosystem. So thanks for what you all do. And everybody out there, watch this interview. Enjoy it. I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Matteo, Raul, thanks for being here, guys. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to kind of give a little bit of a demo of how powerful Fluid Tokens is. We're going to answer some, I would say, of the most critical questions in regards to what you guys are building. But for me, right off the bat, the biggest thing that has me really excited, not only to have you guys as a sponsor, which I'm extremely grateful for, but also to use your product, is the boosted stake. So for the audience, I want to go through it. I've always been incredibly intrigued by, the staking mechanism on Cardano. And you guys are like, this boosted stake is like taking that up a notch in a whole new level. So I want you guys to, if you could, just walk us through what is happening here. Even if right off the bat, you can just explain in the simplest of terms, what is boosted stake on Cardano?
Okay, sure, Dan. Thanks for this. And boosted stake is a protocol that enhances the staking delegation on Cardano, allowing instant lending and borrowing. So on one side, we will have borrowers that want to increase their staking delegation for joining ISPOs, maybe increase their block producing in their pool operators, or we have lenders that want to provide liquidity for staking and don't want to risk with defaults or collaterals that lose the value. This is boosted stake.
Okay. So basically you can borrow stake and then you can provide liquidity to the borrowers. And I want to start with borrowing stake. For me, it's visuals, right? Especially somebody that's been, in the staking ecosystem with Cardano ADA for a while. When we're talking about like how to understand this, you guys have such a nice interface, which is so big for me in terms of any product or project that's launching. For me to use it, I like when it's simple, because I don't like messing around with trying to figure things out. But I enter borrow stake, for instance. So say I have in a wallet 10,000 ADA, I don't have 10,000 ADA, but say I want to borrow 10,000 ADA. I go here to borrow 10,000. I can choose the number of epochs, right? These 5-day periods, minimum of 2. You see liquidity available. I press continue. And could you explain what's popping up on the screen right here?
Sure. So as you are asking for 10,000 ADA in this moment, the protocol is going to pool the liquidity available in the protocol in boosted stake and create a transaction for you. So right now you are going to pay the APR 9.98 to the lenders, to the liquidity providers, and you will get 10,000 ADA that you can stake wherever you want, ISPO, pool, whatever. As you can see, there is a loan fee and a service fee. The loan fee is what is actually paid to the lenders, and the service fee is what is paid to Fluid tokens. If you confirm and sign the transaction, you will get immediately 10,000 ADA in your wallet only for delegation. You cannot spend them.
Okay. And that's kind of a huge point. You're not just like you're not borrowing 10,000 ADA and you can just go straight up, leverage trade it or something crazy like that, or sell it for USD. This is so powerful because, and correct me if I'm wrong, somebody that has maybe they have 500 ADA, right? And there's an ISPO that they really want to be a part of, and they want more leverage than just 500 ADA. they can simply go into your platform, and if we look at this, they can borrow 10,000 ADA for an ISPO, and their fee is basically, you know, around 30 ADA. That's what that's going to cost them for 2 epics. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, and it's tailored according to the needs of the borrower, because as you saw, you could pick the epochs you are willing to use it. So
Yep.
it's really using the best experience for the borrower in this sense.
Yeah. So here you could get 10 epics, you know, for 200 ADA, and you're able to have that 10,000 ADA for an ISPO. It's just a really good example. And then on the flip side, if we cancel that and we go to provide liquidity on the flip side of it, if I wanted to lend, say I had 10,000 ADA, I wanted to lend, that's just sitting there. Let's just say it's just sitting there and it's earning your average, you know, I think Cardano's like right in the 3 to 4%. If you look at this graph, 3 to 4%.
Yeah.
Staking rewards, right? I wanted to lend it and earn more than that 3 to 4%. You can set your APR here, right? 7%, 6%. If you want to, correct me if I'm wrong, but right now that's like the competitive is 5 to 6% right now. That could be borrowed pretty quickly, correct?
Exactly. Our borrowers are really looking for good APR on the platform. So as soon as they see a low APR, they borrow it.
Okay. So for people out there that are kind of just like, hey, I have all of this ADA sitting here, and 3 to 4% rewards is good. However, if there's this demand for people, and especially as the ecosystem grows, and here's where things get crazy for me and excited for me, because I've been tracking Cardano ecosystem. Obviously, as you know, total value locked just increasing, the ecosystem really exploding. And I don't even think it's really even begun yet. So when we have all these people coming into the space and all these new ISPOs and everything launching, and people are really wanting to take part in this, you have borrowers that can take part in it and get more ADA to take part in it. But the lenders, people out there right now that are just kind of like, hey, you know, my ADA, I have a ton of ADA just sitting here and while it's accumulating via staking, which is great. But now there's an opportunity with boosted staking to earn even more rewards. And as the demand grows and people start coming in to borrow, it just seems like when we're looking at these numbers, the APR it'll just rise because demand is coming into play. Would you agree that that's potentially what's in play here?
Yes, exactly. Like lenders can provide their liquidity, and they, while the liquidity is not used, they are not losing their normal rewards. While it's not being used, the Cardano rewards are going directly to their wallets. No need of passing by the platform or whatever. It's using Cardano regular delegation. And as soon as they are lent, so the liquidity is being used by borrowers, they get immediately upfront the APR. So this is a good opportunity even for users that are not really used to DeFi or to play around dApps, because it's really simple. It's just leveraging the Cardano staking rewards mechanics.
Yeah. And same thing for the lenders. You know, they can choose the amount of time they want to lock in their ADA. And, you know, just right off the top of my head, I know there's a lot of ADA holders that are just kind of like, you know, 6 epics is around a month, right? So that's not a lot. That's not a long time for ADA holders that are just like, hey, we're not even entering the bull market yet. I'm going to be holding on to this for months and months and months probably before touching it. So it's such a powerful way to increase rewards basically, while, I mean, if you think about it, lenders are really helping borrowers accomplish their goals. I could almost guarantee there's a ton of lenders that are out there that are just like, you know, the ISPO stuff is cool, but they have different goals, right? And so this is just such a simple way to just do more with the ADA that's sitting there. So I think that's amazing. I want to ask, because it's so important to me, and I know I mentioned this before we even started recording. For me, all these projects launching, not only in Cardano, but over the years in crypto, I've always been like almost terrified of connecting my wallet to things, to dApps. It's just a big deal in crypto, as you know, exploits, hacks, wallet drains, you know the story, right? So could you guys explain, you know, risks involved here, but maybe also talk to the security aspect of it and how maybe even just utilizing Cardano, how that's helpful in that regard, and just your thoughts in terms of security as well?
Of course. From the security point of view, there are many different parts that comes into play when you talk about a DeFi service or protocol. And each step must be done very correctly, otherwise it's a potential security issue there. And so first of all, there is the platform starts with a smart contract that is on the chain, and the code must be done pretty well. So possibly by a team of seniors developer that have a big background with a lot of experience, they know the main flows and the main issues that smart contract can have, also on Cardano. And then this code must be audited by third parties to ensure the max possible safety regarding the code. And then you have the dApp itself that connects to the blockchain and allow you to talk with the smart contract. The dApp itself is not needed necessarily because potentially anyone can connect to the smart contract directly talking with a node on the chain, right? But when you interact with the dApp must be safe. And there are two very important aspects. One is the architecture, the infrastructure behind that must be safe. And the other part, it must be scalable. So the first one is important because otherwise people can enter the infrastructure and place malicious code around. And this must not happen. Our team has cloud architects that are certified and have a big background behind. So we are used to know which things can break very easily and which are not. And on the other side, you also have scalability issues because if any hacking attack tries to put offline the platform, and everybody that needs to interact with the platform in a timely manner will not be able to do it. So the infrastructure is made to be highly scalable without any latency issue. And these are the main things. The last one is, of course, to open source the code of the smart contracts, because if it's Web3, you are doing trustless transactions only if you can see the code and potentially, ensure that it's safe. So this is something we just finished the voting of the booster stake, and right after our token launch in 18th of January, we will release all the open source code as well, just to coordinate everything because there's a lot of things to do. But it's part of our Web3 application is super important. If they don't, then you don't know what they do. There could be a backdoor behind or on top of existing vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
So everybody should be able to check the code.
And I think you just mentioned, I think I just saw a post on X, right, about you just announced the open source approach, didn't you?
That is correct. Yes.
So that's awesome.
It's super important. We are in touch with most of the other projects and the ecosystem of Cardano, and everybody now correctly is agreeing about having to open source. At least the leading DeFi projects have to do it because most of the liquidity is there. The users, even the not expert ones, play there, and it's super important that independent third parties can check the code, and for example, white hat hackers can check the code and find eventual vulnerabilities, and also ensure that there are no backdoors that we cannot put offline stuff or steal funds.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing I do want to mention this is, and this is big for me, just speaking transparently about like projects and new products that are launching in crypto. It's seeing the team. First off, knowing the team, it's not anonymous, right? You guys have been building.
No.
You guys have been building a while, and I even mentioned to you offline, like as a recruiting for startups, I like when the team they have engineering backgrounds. That's just me. I'm a technical recruiter. We recruit a lot of engineers, so I like that. But then just going on YouTube and stuff, you guys have been around, like hustling, building in the Cardano ecosystem. You're at the Cardano Summit. You were in the Genius X Accelerator program, correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
So for me, that's a big deal. And you know, it's a different aspect, I think, of security, but I think knowing the team is kind of an important thing. So I just wanted to bring that up. So what are the plans in terms of this month? I know you have a big launch coming up. What's the deal?
Yes, now all the team is full focus on our liquidity bootstrap event that is going to happen the 18th of January on MinSwap. We will use their launch ball page website in order to launch in the fairest way as possible our token. How it's going to work? We are going to allocate 1/3 of our token to this launch. So 32 million of Fluid tokens are going to be available in the platform. And for the total of 4 days, users will be able to provide liquidity to join this event. They can even change their minds, increasing or decreasing the allocation of ADA that they want. And at the end of these 4 days, we will find out the actual price of the token. Why did we choose this approach? Because in this way we can ensure to have a thick liquidity pool and avoid pump and dump, and also having a big allocation for the community makes any other users at the same way respect to the team. There are no insiders, there are no VCs that can dump the token on them and just dump the price. This is not our focus. This is the perfect launch in order to fundraise and to bootstrap this project.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a perfect way to put it, is a fair launch. And I think there's tokens always launching, right? All different types of tokens. I think what the community truly is looking for is a fair launch approach. So, so what's the date again, and what should people do? Just straight up look out for it, right? And get ready for it if this is something they're interested in, correct?
Yes, exactly. The 18th of January, they can check our website or MinSwap. The links will be there. And if they want to follow up more updates, they can follow on Twitter or even on our Discord.
Cool. Okay. And I'm just saying, I'm so intrigued by the boosted staking. I don't know if you've watched my channel, but I'm always looking, and a lot of people in Cardano are always looking at the total value locked in Cardano, because I think it's just such a good gauge of the growth of the ecosystem. And my eyes are just on your project, because I really think there's going to be a lot of demand for what you're offering. It fits seamlessly into, and I'm not just saying that, it just literally fits seamlessly into why people are in Cardano and also how they use it. So I think it's just an epic product, a really good idea. And I really appreciate you guys coming on and chatting. Is there anything you want to add before we end it here?
I think it's a natural evolution of the staking mechanism. So the boosted stake is like a natural technical evolution that should have it now or later. And we're happy to have brought it here because it's super useful for everybody. And if people wants to see our plans for the next year that will revolve around boosted stake as well, we have the roadmaps, we have our Medium articles. They can check everything there. We are pretty transparent, as you said. The team is fully doxed. And any questions, we are on Discord, we are on Twitter, everything. So they feel free to know more.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'll put all the links below as well for everybody to check it out. And I appreciate it. Raul, do you have any final words?
No, I would say that come around, join on Discord, ask your questions, and you will find us everywhere.
Cool. Good stuff. Matteo, Raul, I truly appreciate you guys cruising through. I appreciate you sponsoring CCV. Extremely excited to see what you guys build. Keep hustling, keep persevering, stay persistent, and we'll see you around. God bless.
Bye, Dan. Bye, everyone.